Did you like my new intro? Well, I hated making it, so please leave a like or I won't stop complaining about it. Hi, hello. Welcome back to my channel or welcome in. October is nearing its end and November is knocking on our doors. With that, I thought it was time to start preparing for NaNoWriMo. I've never really partaken in it before because of many things that came in the way, but even now, I don't think NaNoWriMo is okay to use for what I want to do this November. Maybe a write-a-thon would be more suitable. My personal goal is to write at least 1,000 words per day, every day, during the entirety of the month. So I very much doubt I'll be reaching 50,000 words. The reason I'm starting the preparation for it this late is because I've already been working on this project for a few months now. So I have it mostly planned out and I know exactly how I want to end it with most of the key events in between already in mind. I am, of course, talking about my ongoing romance web novel. Like I said in my first video on the story, I chose to post it on Webnovel, and on that platform, people tend to gravitate towards shorter chapters in size, but greater in numbers. My aim is to end it between 250 and 300 chapters, or somewhere close to that. So for scheduling to keep track of my stuff, I've been using Notion lately. I've heard a lot about it being complicated to navigate, and while I agree to some extent, I've only spent enough time on it to learn how to make what I want out of it. I'll make a video talking about the tools I use again, since I've switched from a few of them very recently, but that's another story for another day. Now, I know from my own experience that I can write at least 1,000 words per hour, and when I have a busy day, I usually split that hour into two halves, 30 minutes in the morning and 30 in the evening. Since the ideal length for a chapter on Webnovel is between 1,000 and 2,000 words, I think I'll try to write one chapter per day. Let me put that on my database like so. I've designed my work schedule page in a way that will allow me to check a box every time I'm done with a task, and it'll disappear and move to the archives. Usually for this project, I write like 8 chapters at the end of every month because I only upload 4 times the next month. This gives me the time to come back and edit them later. For this month, I didn't do that, however. I want to try and write 30 chapters and then schedule them for uploading over the coming months. Okay, the first step in my planning process is to create a new board on a platform called Whimsical. I transitioned from Milanote to this one for multiple reasons, which I'll talk about in a separate video about my writing tools. The board step is basically where I fling stuff at the wall and see what sticks. It's a way to organize the key events that I see happening next in a chronological order. So with this story, I am at a stage where the main leads have reached an unspoken deal. They collaborate in order to solve the mysteries in their way, but they still don't fully cooperate with each other because of the awkward relationship they're in. The female lead is a mere human, but she's still investigating the supernatural because, in a way, it threatens to harm the people of her town, including her best and only friend. The male lead is not human, and he's in the thick of it when it comes to problems regarding the supernatural society. But he feels responsible that the female lead got dragged into it because he was the one to introduce her to his world. So he keeps an eye on her doings. However, he realizes that she's making a lot of progress and that she's asking all of the right questions. So while he openly expresses his worries about her, he never really denies that he needs her help, unlike she denies needing his help. This aspect of their personalities is tied to their past and the way they grew up. I'm not going into those details now. Anyways, the last chapter I've written ended with the male lead following the female lead who sneaked into a restricted area of the museum and realizes she found the answer to one of the mysteries they were working on. I'll start by noting the overall key events that I want to see happening in the next chapters, and then I'll start expanding and detailing them. The first point focuses on the discovery of a trapdoor in the basement of the museum. The next point concerns everything that happens once they go through that trapdoor and what they encounter down there. In the third point, even though there is much more left to explore in the underground tunnels, they're still forced to leave that place and go their separate ways. The female lead goes back home and gets ready to go out with her friend like they planned beforehand, and the male lead goes back home as well. I don't think I need to express that this way of planning is convenient for myself. This is how I personally choose to do things because that's what I am comfortable with. I am more productive this way. I'm not going to try and explain everything on this board because unless you're reading the story, you won't understand what's going on or who these characters are and why they're behaving a certain way. It's available on Webnovel. The first 33 chapters or so are free, and then the rest are locked behind a paywall. But if you have the Webnovel app, you'll get like passes to read premium chapters for free. Once I'm done with the overall plan, I'll go to the detailed planning. This part I prefer to do in a Google document. So basically I outline each chapter before writing it. I made a video on how I outline my chapters in a way that'll help me keep better track of things in my story. I still follow the same template to this day. Of course, these plans are not carved in stone. I can bring changes to them as I'm writing the drafts of the chapters if I get a better idea. I just make sure to note them down in the plans and outlines in order not to get confused. I'll see if I can get 30 chapters out of these points. If not, I'll come back and add more points until I get the results I want. I think I might make a video or two in November about the writing process of some of the chapters, but I know I'll make one at the beginning of December to discuss the results and show if I stuck to my plan and how many days I skipped. Because to be honest, I know I might skip at least one day. Every month has that one day where I'm so sick, so much in pain that I can't even stand. So if it's as intense as it usually is, I might surrender on that specific day. Alright, I think I said everything I wanted to say for this video and I'd like to end it here. Let me know in the comments what your plans for November are. As always, I hope to see you in the next video. Subscribe if you want to see more of my content. But until next time, please take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye-bye.